What's going on, everybody? Me and my wife got on the topic, prepare for success, and then we discussed several aspects of this topic. And I was like, wow, this will make an awesome podcast. And we talked for a little bit over an hour. So I decided to break this up in several episodes, and we hope you guys enjoy it. Be blessed. Sometimes in life, we always thinking about, man, I want to do this, I want to do that. So we begin to search out for a goal we want to set. And we finally attain that thing. Well, today we're going to talk about being prepped for success. After the intro, let's get it. You have one life. You got a calling and a purpose. Welcome to the Witness to Power podcast, the show that encourages and inspires you to be who God has called you to be. I'm your host and digital evangelist, Ashley Sims. What's going on, everybody? We are back. I'm excited for this episode because, well, let me just say it like this. There was a article or video, something, but me and my wife started talking about things that go on and how people, they set a goal, they plan to do things, and they want things to happen at a certain time. And sometimes they do happen, right? And we got to conversating about a lot of things, ups and downs. And I brought her here because she was mentioning an article, I think it was a video, right, that you saw about an individual who had great success, but then something happened that kind of got in the way of that success. So I won't let you talk a little bit about that, however you want.
Yes. So as we were discussing, we were talking about the video where I noticed that the situation that happened was the young person, they actually got to a place in their life where they were successful. And the thought that came was he prepped for success, but he didn't prep for what happens after you reach success. And when you're talking about purpose and you're talking about the things that you're wanting to accomplish in your life, sometimes that happens. You will prep for the goal that you want to set, that purpose you want to do, that thing that you want to aspire other people. And at the same time, you want it to make you an income. You want it to bring you a residual amount of money that's going to take care of you for now until, God takes you home. But what happens is a little thing about what happens when I reach that level of success. What happens when I do reach that momentous moment in my life that I have the fame, I have the fortune, I have everything that I could possibly ever want or need. What do I do now as a Christian?
I think what happens, and as we were talking, we want to reach that level. I don't think sometimes we actually believe we're going to get it like that. We hear other people about how they get fame and fortune, or they get that success that it was planning for. And then when it happens to you, you're like, uh-oh, I'm here now. And there's a thing that's called the fear of failure, but there's another thing that people don't always talk about is the fear of success.
So true. So true.
I think that's where we're going with this is many of you, as ourselves, that when we decided to, like the Bible always tells us to, people without a vision, they perish,
yes.
Right? Because you're wandering life aimlessly looking at things, and you're dibbling and dabbling in a lot of things. Like, oh, this gonna get me success, that gonna get me success. And many of you probably been in MLMs. I know we've been in a few, which kind of find out you have the heart to do business and you want the success, but realizing that's not the path that God is actually directing you on. Now, not saying it's a bad thing, but what it does is helps you to solidify or light that fire in you and say, wait a minute, I don't want this. I want the success, but I don't want it this way. And it's taken away from what you desire. But there's a desire in you to be successful. And so we're talking about what happens when you find that thing and you are successful.
Yes. I wanted to talk on that because generally, like your title said, prep for success. When you are prepping yourself, you're getting yourself ready. You are crossing the T's and dotting the I's and saying, hey, I have a goal. I have an end in mind. And that end that I want is what God has called me to do. And that can be, you can sing. It could be a writer. It could be somebody who's teaching. However, that thing that you've prepped for, you hoped for, you desire, and you did everything that you were supposed to do to get you to that point. However, what we fail to do is to prepare not only ourselves for that success, we don't prepare ourselves for the things that comes along with the level of success that we reach once we make that goal a successful thing.
You know, and I talk about a lot of things like when we were children, young adults, whatever, we in our heart, we like, man, when I become this, I'm going to get this, this, and this, and this.
So true.
But the game or rules change when you become an adult and you engage yourself in the activities we call living a Christian life. Like some things are here for us, but they're not good for us.
Yes.
But because we did it when we was young, we forget that now people are looking at us. Like they want to get there too. And some of your habits, which are not feasible for the path you're walking on, can trip us up. Let's talk about that.
Yes. And that's another thing too. A lot of things that we feel they're good for us, they're not the good thing that God chose for our path to walk. So when we look at it like, oh, wow, I'll say you, oh, wow, Ashley, he's doing this podcast. He's so phenomenal. And I think I want to do it too. But if my gift is not a podcaster, but my gift is more of, hey, I'm a good organizer. So I can organize things. Whereas you're a good speaker. So if I'm organizing things, I find that, hey, more people are more blessed by me organizing something for them, showing them little tips and tricks on how they can organize this. And I'm still giving God glory because that's what he designed for me. When I try to step into somebody else's role and do their role, yeah, I'm doing it. I'm functioning, but I'm not fulfilled. I'm not satisfied. There's something missing. It becomes a chore and not something that's fun.
And so what happens in that, if we're having success in something that, you know, we love to do or something that we desire to do, even though it may not be in our gifting, but become good at, that's when the distractions get you the most because you become burdened down by the thing that you thought was there to bring you success. And it may have brought you success, but it's now more of a burden than something you love to do. And so that's when the enemy brings things your way that you said years ago, man, when I get that, I'm going to get this and this and this. And like I said, some of those things are not healthy for our walk because now we have a crowd looking at us. Before, if we stumble, if we fail, we all know that as Christians, the Bible says he that said he has no sin is a liar and the truth not in it. So don't fool yourself. Don't kid yourself that you see people that's walking. They just desire to shut that part of themselves down. But sometimes what happens, we can get so frustrated or so engaged in doing the thing that we're doing that we're not putting enough time in to our spiritual self, developing ourselves and ignoring those little faults that we have, right? Covering those things up because we're having so much success, right? Things are going well. And all along the enemy is saying, okay, I see you exposed right there.
You know, and that brings me to what Paul said. He said that at least if he do these things, he becomes a castaway. So, our words, the things we're doing, that success that you're talking about, that success we're getting to, if we fail to keep ourselves, grafted in the Word of God, to keep ourselves with our prayer life, to keep ourselves still talking to the one who's giving us the energy, the one who's giving us the strength. If we fail to be sincere and be intentional with our walk with God, we become like the castaway that Paul was talking about. Our words become like sounding brass, it's going to and from, it's making a lot of noise, but it's not reaching who it needs to reach. It's not helping who is needing to help. So when you were talking about our success and getting to that level, everything that we do, it's supposed to be for Christ. So even when we reach a level of success, yes, we're getting all the things that we're wanting. We're getting all the things that we could ever imagine and hope for. But what are we letting go of? What are we putting down? And a lot of times unaware, we're putting God down. We're letting go of our faith. We're giving occasions to the flesh because we're thinking, oh, it's nothing. And when that happens, that's when we fall into that trap of, now what? I'm successful, but now what? I'm a Christian, but do I have to talk about Jesus 24/7? Now where do I go from here?
The pressure of life is real. Where people outside looking in and say, how could they? But they're just like me and you, like passions. Just like a sheep. The Bible tells us we've all strayed away and we all fall short of the glory. However, the Bible also tells us how we could stay on the path.
Yes.
But again, if you're young and you're getting everything get thrown at you, you're just enjoying success, you let your guard down. And that's what happens. You let your guard down. And even if you're not successful, you let your guard down. Because the enemy doesn't care what you're doing. He just wants you distracted.
Yes.
And that's really what's happening. Your distress, your success is distracting you from why you're there. And so she was listening to this video, and I think this person had said something very pivotal. And what did the person say when they finally got it? I think you can tell.
Yes, the young person was like, they prepared themselves to get to success, but they never prepared themselves for all of the things that come after success. And a lot of times in our own walk and in our own lives, we prepare ourselves for what's coming ahead. We prepare ourselves for the test, but we never prepare ourselves for what comes after the test. You don't prepare yourselves for the comments. You don't prepare yourself for the people who are the pretend friends. Because a true friend, like we tell our kids, a true friend is not going to go against your moral compass. They're not going to go against, if you are a faith believer, they're not going to go against your faith. They're going to hold you to it. And every time you slip away, it's like that accountability partner. They're going to say, oh, no, your mom and dad don't appreciate you doing that. Oh, wait a minute. You're a Christian, so you can't do that. And that's what happens when the young man was talking about his success. He was prepared for getting the success, but he wasn't prepared for the things that came after the success. So he wasn't mentally prepared. He wasn't emotionally prepared. He wasn't physically prepared for what comes after. A lot of times when we are in a place of leadership, we don't think that we're leaders because we're like, wait a minute. I'm a person just like you. I have faults just like you. I have down times. I have happy up times. I have, my own thoughts and concerns that bother or bog me down or lift me up just like you. But what is overlooked is that Yeah, you may not have asked to be a leader, but you are a leader. And as Christians, God put us in the forefront because he said we are the head and not the tail. We are above only and not beneath. And when you see that you are a leader because you are Christ-like ahead, you can't be behind. You can't be seen as someone who is just you. You're seeing as you are the GOAT, the go-to person. You're the success that everybody is margining their life after.
We'll continue this in the next episodes. Reach one, reach many. Be blessed. Until the next time, have an awesome week.
Have you ever felt that you've not lived up to your full potential? Or maybe you felt that you have no idea what you truly want out of life, but you feel you can do more than what you're doing now. Then I have the book for you, 21 Steps to Walk in Purpose, to help you shake off the stagnation and fogginess into doing your purpose. Go to walkinpurposenow.com. Yes, that's walkinpurposenow.com and grab your copy today and walk in the purpose that you know is designed for you. Remember, I believe in you. So go and grab your copy of 21 Steps to Walk in Purpose and live the purpose that I know you have within you to live.
Thanks again for listening to another episode of the Witness the Power Podcast. Don't forget to check us out at www.witnessthepowerpodcast.com. And also subscribe to the podcast on iTunes. And be sure to check out the Witness the Power fan page on Facebook. Have a great week.